Okay, let's try again. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was because my Wi-Fi's on and I don't know whose Wi-Fi I'm connected to, but everything was frozen. I don't even know where that video ended. I could not see any comments, but was able to see after I turned my phone off that people were commenting. So I don't know what was with the technical difficulty. So I will wait just a second, see if anybody hops on, see if this is in working order, and I guess whether or not I'll see the comments while I'm live, I have no idea, but I'll just start talking. And hi Amanda, and see if people can hear me okay, if people can see me okay. Just send some hearts or likes if you can, because the last video, the first one that I did, everything was frozen and I could not see anything happening. So I don't know if it's going to be any different this time or not. But just let me know. Ooh, I see a like. Thank you, Amanda. So everything should be in working order. Okay, so I don't know why, but I'm so nervous. I have not been live in a really long time, and that is something else that I was going to kind of chat about. So, as you all know, or most people know probably, I have been working with a life and business coach for a little over, I think we're going on about 1.5 years. Thank you, Amanda. And last year around this time, I felt like I was, no joke, having a midlife crisis, because I felt like when it really came down to it, I didn't know how to answer people when I was asked like who I really am to my core. I felt like I really did not know myself. Like I was just kind of in autopilot. So if you've ever felt like you're living each and every day in autopilot, like just trying to make it through the day, just trying to get through, you know, each thing that comes your way, and you're like dodging left and right, that's how I felt last year. And I would explain it to my life coach as, I don't know up from down, left from right, like I just feel like I am losing it. And so, you know, I've been doing personal development for a little over 3.5 years. I've read a lot of books, a lot of audio books. Hi, whoever pops on. And, you know, as much personal development as I was doing, I just felt like I do not really truly know who I am. And I would like to know who that is. And so, around August, I kind of had this moment where I thought, I am really going to take the time to get to know me and get to know who Macy is. And I asked myself the question, like, who would Macy be if nobody was expecting anything from me? Like a lot of my life. Hi, if you're on, please say hi. It doesn't tell me who. If you watch it live, say hi. And if you oh, hold on, I just got a message. I don't know what happened. We could hear you all the way up to, okay. I got a message about my last live, so hopefully this one's working better. But if you get on, say hi, and if you catch the replay, just hashtag replay so that I know you watch it. Hi, Tina. So I started asking myself the question, who would Macy be if nobody was expecting anything from me? Because I've spent a lot of my life doing for other people. But when it came down to asking myself who I was, I'm like, I really don't know. And so I just wanted to share with you the work, hi Julie, that has really made things take a turn in my life in the last 5 months that I think everybody could kind of benefit from. And I wanted to ask the question, if you buffer, because I did not really know what buffering was about 5 months ago, but then when I learned what it was, I made active changes to work on that, because I realized that buffering was not actually serving me, and buffering was keeping me from being who I actually was and am. And so, hi Ray. So here is the first thing that I wanted to cover. Our brains are always trying to protect us from everything in life, right? And so essentially what happens is we have a thought pop into our brain. It doesn't matter what it's about, but we'll have a thought pop up in our brain, and it creates an emotion in our body. Okay, so as soon as you have a thought, we get an emotion that floods over our body. It could be excitement, it could be sadness, it could be depressing, it could be anger, whatever it is. And then based on that emotion, whatever it causes our body to feel, determines the kind of action that we will or will not take in life. Okay, so your thoughts contribute to the emotion in your body, and the emotion in your body contributes to the action that you do or do not take in life. And then the action that you do or do not take in your life contributes to the results that you get in life. Hi, Amber. And so when you really understand this concept, you can start taking responsibility for your thoughts and emotions, right? And the best way that this has been described to me is that when somebody says something to us that is annoying or that frustrates us or that hurts us or whatever, hi girl, we have a thought about it, right? But at the end of the day, hi Alex, people cannot jump into our body and make us feel a certain way. We make ourselves feel that way because we have a thought in our brain. That thought in our brain creates an emotion in our body. That emotion in our body contributes to the action we do or do not take, and then the action that we do or do not take contributes to the results we get in life. And so every day we have thousands of thoughts that circulate our brain, like so many go through our brain, and it creates emotion in our body. So what I learned, I was reading a book about 5 months ago, and it had this section in it about buffering. And it said, you know, everybody finds a way to buffer in life when they don't want to feel their feelings. Because the thing about feeling our feelings is most of the time it doesn't feel good. Like if we sit down and actually think of everything that we have going on, everything that we need to be doing, you know, the places that we haven't been yet, the things that we want to do that we're not able to do, it doesn't always feel good, right? So buffering is a way to avoid having to feel our feelings. So I was reading this book, and it was talking about how people buffer in a million different ways, but the most typical ways of buffering that we see in life are that people will eat when they're not hungry. So, you know, if people are depressed or people don't want to feel their feelings, they'll go to the fridge or the cabinet and they're looking for things to eat. And it's not because their body is saying I'm hungry, it's because they're like, I just need something to distract myself. People do it with alcohol. I need a drink to take the edge off, right? If we're feeling anxiety or whatever it is, I need a cigarette to avoid feeling the stress that I'm feeling. So the cigarette will make me feel better. And some people turn to drugs for that reason. They don't want to feel whatever it is that they're feeling in their body, and so they'll turn to drugs of some sort. But what was interesting about this book, hi Allie, is that it said there is a very common way that most people in life are buffering right now, and they have no idea that they're doing it. And it said it's social media. And so it explained in this book, he says, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I think today's a great day to spend 4 hours on Facebook. And when I read that line, hi Becky, I thought, oh wow. You know, like when you read something and it just like punches you in the feels, like it just like knocks you out. Hi Ingrid. That is how I felt when I read that line. So it says, you know, people buffer with alcohol, they buffer with drugs, they buffer with, thank you. It's not all mine. I wish it was. They buffer, you know, with food. But what people don't realize is that they're also buffering with things like Facebook. And what happens is when you get on Facebook and you might say you're working, right? If you have an online business, hi Ingrid, or, you know, you might feel like you're being productive, and then all of a sudden you get sucked down this rabbit hole. Like it happens to me more than I'd like to admit. I'll get on Facebook and then all of a sudden it leads me to somebody's profile, which leads me to a video, which leads me to an Ellen show, which leads me onto YouTube for like 4 hours, you know? So when I read this in this book that people are buffering with social media, I instantly had like all the flashing lights, like ding dong, that's Macy Hale. Because for years, my family, my fiance, they've been like, why is that phone glued to your hand? And I never had an answer, ever. I could never answer them of why my phone was like glued to me. And, you know, and I would answer people really back, and I would be, or back really quickly, and I would be like, oh, well, I've got to answer them back to help them in the business, or, you know, oh, I'm just on Pinterest, or, though, you know, whatever it was. But my phone was always with me. So when I read in the book that a form of buffering is being on social media, because nobody plans their day around, yeah, Facebook sounds great for 4 hours today, but we do it all the time, right? We get on Facebook and we get sucked down the portal. And so then I started asking myself the thought, hi, Caitlin, this is buffering for me. And we buffer when there is something that we do not want to look at look at straight in the face, and we buffer when we don't want to feel something. Because if we have to feel it most of the time, because of how many thoughts we're having, it doesn't feel good. Hi, Caitlin. So I really took away from that book that I had been buffering. And to be completely honest with you, I didn't know about what. I didn't know, like, oh, maybe I'm buffering because I don't want to feel this, or maybe I'm buffering because I'm stressed about this. I had no idea. But what I did take from that book was how to stop buffering. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you guys today, because some of you watching this, or whoever gets on the replay, may be buffering and not even realize that they're buffering. You know, and you might be doing it with social media, or you could be doing it with food, alcohol, drugs, whatever your choice is to escape those feelings that happen in your body. But it's not serving us deep, deep, deep down, right? Because we're essentially putting a Band-Aid over what we should be feeling. And that gets us nowhere. That is what I've learned in the last 5 months, is that if we keep putting a Band-Aid on it, it's not actually getting better. So what I started doing is like making myself put the phone aside. And when I would wake up in the morning, my natural reaction when I wake up in the morning is to grab my phone and look through it. You know, to have it right by me as I'm drinking my coffee, to scroll through all the social medias and see what I'm missing, to erase all notifications. So what I started doing was, in the morning, I would put my phone on silent. I would put it away, like out of reach on my coffee table. I would turn my TV off and sit on the couch and sit there. And let me tell you, it was the most uncomfortable feeling in the world. Like, so uncomfortable. This is like, I did not know that I was actually buffering. It just was like an epiphany when I read the book. But then as I sat on the couch, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm buffering bad. Because when I would sit on the couch and just kind of sit still in silence, every thought started racing, right? I would have all these thoughts, and I would have thoughts that would create an emotion of panic, or thoughts that would create an emotion of anxiety, or thoughts that would create an emotion of anger, or whatever, right? And I would sit on the couch and have all these thoughts coming through and think, oh wow, this is making me feel really bad. And you know what my initial reaction would be? To reach for my phone. It was like crack. I'm not kidding. I would sit on the couch and I would be like, I need the phone, because I didn't want to feel the feelings in my body. And that's how I knew that I was buffering with social media. Because I'm like, okay, I don't want to feel this. And I have such a strong desire to pick that phone back up, because if I pick that phone back up, all of this would go away. Like, if I could look at somebody else's life on social media, if I could watch a video, if I could listen to music or whatever it is, I don't have to feel whatever it is I'm feeling. And so I was talking to my life coach about this, and she happened to be doing a topic on it, and she said, in order to get through the negative emotions that we feel in life and to really understand why our thoughts are taking place, we have to sit in the negative emotion. We have to feel it. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Tay. Hi, Meredith. And so we don't want to do that. We don't want to feel the negative emotion in our body because it feels bad. So when I was sitting on the couch thinking, all I want to do is grab my phone and just make all these thoughts and feelings go away, right? I could escape it. But instead I would make myself sit with it. And so here's what happened to me when I started doing that. I would sit on the couch, sometimes it would be, all of 5 minutes. Sometimes it would be up to 30 minutes. And I would allow every single thought that came through my brain to be there. And when it would create an emotion in my body via anxiety, sadness, anger, stress, whatever it was, hi Linda, I would just sit with it. Hi Eric, I would literally just sit with it and allow myself to feel it. And it was awful. I'm not even going to lie. Like, if this is something that you really want to work through, it doesn't feel good, because we as a society are used to putting a Band-Aid on everything. We're used to not feeling our feelings and putting on a brave face and being like, everything's great, everything's good. And when you do that for decades, right, or however many years you've been doing it, you build up such a layer that you really don't even understand or know yourself down to a soul level. And that's how I was. This time last year, I was in full-blown panic because I felt like I have been trying to deal with things in such a way for such a long time that I don't even know who I am, but I want to know who I am at a very deep soul level. And so that's when I realized that my form of buffering has not been, with maybe some other people's form of buffering, but with social media, it's become very common because we so easily get on there and look at other people's lives and think there's nothing wrong with this. But at the end of the day, we're still buffering. We're still trying to escape that feeling of feeling our feelings. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, if you're just now hopping on, the thought that occurs in our brain creates an emotion in our body. That emotion in our body contributes to action we will or will not take, and then the action we do or do not take contributes to the results that we get in life. So we're constantly trying to escape things that don't feel good. And one of the best examples that I can give you about how this can kind of affect your growth in life, I want to give you just maybe a common example, because I feel like a lot of people are afraid of this. So I hate with every fiber of my being public speaking. Let's just say that, okay? I despise it. Like, when I was in school, any teacher that would give us a project about public speaking or group presentations, I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so mad at this teacher. I may never forgive them for this. Because it would create, the thought was, I can't get up in front of this class. There's going to be, 20, 25 people in this class, and I'm going to make a fool of myself, and I'm going to forget, and then it would create this emotion in my body of anxiety, fear, I don't want to do this, I want to run away. And then the action, if I could have chosen how to handle it, would have been run away and leave school. But because I was in school and I need to pass, I had to do it, right? And then that contributed to the results. So the result is typically you get through it and you feel much better afterwards. Hi, Angel. So once I got through college, I was like, okay, I never have to do public speaking ever, 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 ever again. But here's the interesting thing. We cannot grow outside of our comfort zone. Like, we have to grow outside of our comfort zones because we can't grow within our comfort zone. When you think about it, if you're not where you want to be in life, it's because of the choices you've made thus far. So if you want a different outcome, you have to make different choices. If you make the same choices based on comfort level, you're not going to grow. So a few weeks ago, I got a text message to ask if I wanted to speak and share my deeper story that most people don't know. That is very dear and near to my heart. But if I wanted to share it with my Miriam family, which at the time was going to be around 200 people. You guys, the thought that came into my brain was heck to the no, and the emotion that came over my body was anxiety. I'm going to puke. I'm going to die. I need to run away. I wish that they never asked me. I'm going to pretend that I didn't see the text message. Like, all of the things. I was like, no. Macy does not do that. And then I got to thinking, because I've done enough personal development at this time, and I realized through buffering that we don't like to feel our feelings. And so I sat with that emotion, and I sat with that fear, and I was like, I know what I need to do. I know that here's another thing that I want to tell you. When you look at someone and you really admire who they are as a person, and you think, gosh, they have this, I would love to have that. Or, gosh, I wish I was more like this, right? They have qualities that you love about them. You can have those qualities too. But in order to get those qualities, you have to make different choices that you wouldn't normally make as yourself. And so where I make decisions in life to grow, like when I think about I'm not exactly where I would like to be in life, the way that I make decisions is from a place of who I want to be. So if I'm watching someone do public speaking and I'm thinking in my head, gosh, I wish that I could get up there like them and just rock a stage. Gosh, I wish I could get up there like them and just not look nervous or not be nervous or just be able to speak to those people, right? If I feel like I would like to be that person, I know that I have to make decisions from Macy who would do that, not Macy who I am now. Because Macy who I am today is not the person who's going to public speak in front of 100, 200 people. But the Macy that I want to be is the person who can do that, you know, and stand up there and do it. So when I was asked if I would speak in front of, at the time, 200 people, you know, and sharing my truest, deepest story that in the past would make me bawl the entire time, I really wanted to say no, but I knew that in order to get to the next level of growth in my life, that I had to act as my highest Macy, not current Macy, because current Macy was running away. So this is kind of what we do, right? I had that like immediately after I was asked, what did I do? I buffered. I got on social media and I tried to make all the feelings in my body go away. I did not want to feel the anxiety. I didn't want to feel the fear. And so if I wasn't thinking about having to say yes or no, I could escape that emotion for a little bit. But each day it actually built more and more and more and more. And so finally I got to the place where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say yes. I'm just going to say yes, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to feel better on the other side. But in the moment, it was really terrifying. And I did it, you know, and after I did it, I felt like I broke through a wall of growth that made me feel like I'm so glad I can say, yes, I did that, versus I wonder what would have happened had I not did that. But it's amazing how our brain, because it wants to protect us so badly, like our brain tells us about everything, you're gonna die. If you do that, you're gonna die. Like that's what your brain says. You do that, you're gonna die. And so because our brain is created to protect us and we don't want to die, it keeps us in that comfort zone forever. And you will stay in that comfort zone forever until you understand that in order to move forward, you have to make a different choice. So if there's something that's scaring the holy living shiitake mushrooms out of your soul, you probably need to say yes, because it's to get to that next level of growth. So here is what I really learned after, you know, like every single morning now, when I'm down in my living room and I'm down on the couch, I really try not to buffer. I try not to get on social media. And here's what I really learned about myself. When you allow yourself to feel the feelings in your body rather than escape it, you know, so when you're feeling anxiety in your body, all you want to do is escape it. We do not like to feel anxiety. So like I said, people will drink, they'll do drugs, they'll smoke, what, you know, or they'll get on Facebook. They'll do whatever not to feel anxiety. And the whole thing around that is you're not actually going to fix the anxiety until you allow yourself to feel the anxiety and understand where it's coming from. If you don't treat it from the source, it's not actually going away. It's really not. It's not going to go away. So I made myself feel every single emotion. And when I would do that, I would have a thought. And that thought would be, I thought that I had dealt with that. I thought that I was over that. I thought that that didn't bother me anymore. And so what I learned was that I thought it didn't bother me anymore because I put a Band-Aid on it, right? I stopped thinking about it and I buffered. And then I thought that I was over it, right? Over multiple things in my life. And what I ended up realizing was I never actually fixed it. I just buffered through it. So when I actually started really feeling every single feeling, I started to get to know who I really was, like who I really am. And I allowed myself to feel the feeling so much that I worked through the problem. Like all walls down, scared, feeling every horrible feeling in my body. And then the more that I felt it, the more that I was actually over it. And I would move through the emotion. And here's what's very interesting. When you actually get through the emotion, you learn who you are from a very deep soul level. And all the things that you fret about and you worry about and you're anxious about every single day, that you say, gosh, I wish I could just get an answer. I wish God would just answer me and give me an answer, right? We're always looking for that answer. We want the answer. If we just realized that if we felt our feelings deep, deep, deep to the core, the answers are already within you. You're just not accessing the answers that you're wanting because you're too busy trying to control not feeling it, not feeling your feelings. And when you put up that wall, you can't hear anything. You just feel deep inner panic because you buffer. But when you actually feel the feelings and make yourself acknowledge the thought that you're having, and you can question, why am I having this thought? Why is this bothering me? And you feel the emotion so long and it's so real that it will go away. And it'll actually be done. And then you will have the answers that you've been wanting all along. They're literally within you. I have learned in 5 months that everything that I wanted to know, what is my next step in life? Where should I be going in life? What should I be doing in life? My brain is like, you don't know anything. As soon as I allowed myself to feel my feelings, I got all my answers. I knew who I was at a soul level. I continue to learn that at a soul level. I don't stress about not having the answer because I know the answer will come as soon as I release control to have to know the answer and to have to control my feelings. If I don't control my feelings and I allow myself to feel my feelings, my answer is buried beneath the feeling. So allow yourself to feel it. And if you're buffering, you really look at that and say, how can I just stop doing this? If your reaction is, I'm stressed, I need to go to the fridge. I'm stressed, I need that cigarette. I'm stressed, I need a drink of alcohol. I'm stressed, I'm going to scroll through Facebook. Whatever it is, if you're really wanting to get to know yourself from a deep, deep, deep soul level, know who you are, know the answers that you need in life to get to the next step, I encourage you to just sit with yourself and allow every feeling to bubble up that you've been pressing down for years and decades and years and decades. You're like, go away, go away, go away. Allow it to all bubble up to the surface, to come out. Feel angry, feel sad, feel happy, feel excited, feel the fear, and everything that you need to know is already within you. Promise. I promise you. It's been the most amazing work I have ever done in my life. I've done a lot of personal development. I've done a lot of mindset work, but feeling your feelings is a whole different ballgame. It's a whole different level. You will know yourself like you will just, I promise you, you will not regret it. So that is all I have for you today. I have been wanting to get that message out for a really long time. And if you watch the replay, #replay, if you feel like this would help somebody, feel free to tag them. I'll make it public so maybe you can share it. But I wanted to share that with you. So I love you guys. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.